We came across a company here at IFA in Berlin, the 2022 edition, our 20th year covering IFA, with storytelling headphones. And you might think, well, wouldn't any headphone tell you a story if that's what you're putting in it? Oh, this is much different and much better because they provide engaging screen-free entertainment for the kids. Now that I have all the parents and grandparents' attention, you want to meet our next guest. Global Sales Director for a company called Onanoff is Filippo Scavion. Was that right?
Schiavon.
Schiavon. I knew I would mess it up, but welcome to Into Tomorrow. Glad to have you. How are you?
Thank you, Dave. Thank you for having us. Very good. It's been a great show. It's the first day, but it's been already very busy and very interesting. A lot of different people internationally. That's very important.
Oh, for sure. And that's part of what IFA is all about. You know, it is a show rich in tech history, by all means, and we're proud to be here for 20 years covering this show. Always something new, always something cool, always something great to share with our radio and various audio audiences, but also to show everyone, since we shoot video of all the interviews. If you are not watching this on video yet, when you have a chance, visit us at intotomorrow.com because we love showing you the products we're talking about. So tell me first about Onanoff. Interesting company name.
Yeah, Onanoff is an Icelandic founded company. Our founder is a true Icelandic. We have offices across the world, New York, Amsterdam, and Hong Kong. And it's been a company with a vision to help kids experience audio in a different way. And we've dedicated the good part of the past 12 years in creating new audio experiences.
And I'm loving the part in your introduction about screen-free.
Absolutely.
Because it seems to be the biggest problem, and I can relate to, you know, my grandson, Chris's son, Cameron. All of our regular listeners know, 10-year-old Cameron, who we can't get off his phone that his mother gave him.
Unfortunately, this is something that is happening across the globe.
Yeah.
So all the kids are basically getting completely addicted by tablets and smartphones and television as well, right?
Yeah, it used to be when we grew up, you go out and play.
Correct. Now they don't do that anymore.
No, it's like go climb a tree or go do something outside, and when the street lights come on, come in for dinner. That doesn't happen anymore.
But we have to highlight the fact that parents are becoming a little bit lazy as well,
Yes.
and they use the tablet and the smartphones as a very easy way to get out of the kids themselves.
The screens are a babysitter.
Correct.
And I think most parents listening can say, yeah, unfortunately I can relate, or I've got to get work done, I'm working from home, or whatever number of things happening.
Absolutely.
And it's like, here's your tablet, here's your phone. You know, well, you got to realize what that's doing to the kids.
Yeah, but so far we have very little alternative to that. So that's why we come up with story phones.
Ah, so then tell us about story phones. I know they're storytelling headphones for kids. What makes them storytelling?
Well, it's a concentration of technology inside these headphones because we combine a Bluetooth wireless headphones, so you can use it even to watch a tablet and a smartphone.
Sure.
But it has an embedded storytelling device, which is completely independent from a tablet, a smartphone, or a connections, or even a screen. So, just for example, this is the story phones. This is the model that is done in collaboration together with Disney.
Oh, I can see the Mickey Mouse ears.
Correct.
Yeah, let's see
correct.
if they show up on camera. There we go.
You have it also on the inside.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
There's Mickey Mouse all over the place.
Yeah,
here.
look, the headphones themselves on the inside, the hearing part, is Mickey Mouse ears.
Correct.
Okay.
And the overall idea is that after the initial setup, by using simple story shield, that's how we call them, which are discs, you can actually add them and they connect magnetically. And through simple technology as an RFID, they will basically trigger the playback of a story or of a sound or different other, content that we make available.
So here's a beauty. You've been doing so many interviews all day today. Beauty and the Beast,
for example,
magnet type thing, and I'm just going to place it on the outside of the headphone. Oh, and it even goes right into position, I notice. And now the headphones would be telling Beauty and the Beast story.
Correct.
Really?
And if you turn the disc, you will have different positions, and you will basically be able to change the chapter or change the story within the specific story shield.
Now that's very cool.
Absolutely.
What had you come up with this idea, though? I mean, what we described early on about the kids getting off the screen, but yet still getting a story.
Absolutely. Well, it took us the good part of 2 years to develop the technology and making sure that it's consumer-proof, right? And most of all, child-proof. It needs
Yes.
to be very easy. So, we're
Because
talking
the kids
about,
will destroy anything.
first of all, but they don't have the technology and the ability to use all the different parts of it, right?
Yeah.
We wanted to make headphones or a product that is seamless and most of all doesn't need your intervention or a smartphone or any other, connections in order to operate.
Okay.
So once it's set up, the kids can just play with the storage shields without anybody.
So you simply charge the headphones,
Correct.
right? I see there's a USB-C port.
Correct.
Very good. Thank
Yeah.
you for staying on top of new things. And you simply charge the headphones, and what does the other port do here? Looks like a headphone jack.
Correct. So when the battery is off, and you can still use it as a normal headphones, and you can plug it in and just listen to music on your MP3 players or on your tablets.
Oh, very good. So, as you say, sometimes screen time is okay and
Of course.
is necessary.
Of course.
Long trips, you don't hear, are we there yet?
Yeah.
That's a good reason to have them on,
Yeah.
on the screens, or certainly a storytelling headphone. And simple controls, it looks like, not only on-off, but they have volume capability and other things. What does this particular disc do?
We have different collections of
Okay.
story shields, and this is the Zen Shield. The Zen Shield is a particular collections where we do create sounds or potential mindfulness stories in
Bless
order
you,
to
Chris.
pacify, to calm down overstress or anxiety into kids. Or sometimes for even more simple reason, just to put them to bed. So you need
Okay.
like a white noise or a very relaxing sounds in order to calm them down.
So when the parent checks them at night before they go to bed,
Yeah.
as if they're awake longer than the parent, yeah, then you simply can remove the headphones, turn it off, and let them sleep.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And tell me about the number of stories available.
So right now we have one major collaborations with, of course, is with Disney.
Yeah.
And with Disney we are launching together with the new product around 14 different titles. But we already have a very, beefy roadmaps for 2023, and we're going to be coming up with around 2 stories every single month in order to make it a very consistent library.
Good. And
But
perhaps other than Disney as
Correct.
well, right?
So
Okay.
we are not stopping at Disney, of course. We are continuing with Sony Music, with Penguin Random House, and other local publishing houses in order to provide local content to local regions.
And what are we talking age group-wise? I mean, how are these from what age to what age? And will it vary as you come out with other stories?
Of course. Very good question. Thank you very much, Dave.
Yeah, that's why they pay me the big bucks, yeah. I wish.
So we say it starts from 3 years old. And of course, the age group for a Disney target will be from 3 to around 7 years old, right?
Okay.
But when we go into Sony Music, for example, we have content that goes well from 6 to already 8 years old.
Oh.
But let me stretch you there. If you have a product like this one, for example, which doesn't have any connotations of Disney, right? And if you
Yeah.
put a story that may suit you as well, you can still be using a story phones with any content that you would like to use it.
Okay.
So there's no limitations. Of course, the initial target is kids, but I believe story phones has a much brighter future.
It sounds like, and especially if you continue to increase in ages as well. For example, Cameron, my grandson, is 10,
you go.
and I could see how he would use these. But you're right, the younger kids, he's not going to, well, I'm not 3, I don't need a Disney story. All right, well, there are other things in development, right? And the fact that it gets him off the screen, for crying out loud, even for a little while.
Very
How
important.
long are the stories typically?
So right now, the content goes between 30 minutes and 45 minutes.
Okay.
But depending on the publications, depending of the type of content that we're going to be putting inside, we can develop stories even to 1.5 hours. Again, that varies with the age group.
Yeah.
So the younger they are, the smaller attention span they will have.
Yeah.
So the older they get, the more they will stay listening to the stories, the more they will engage with it.
And I always hear my audience in my head when I'm chatting with a guest, and one of the questions I'm imagining some people asking is, well, what's the problem? Why do you have to take away screens?
It's a big problem. It's becoming very addictive.
Yeah.
And the problem is that they get excluded from how do you say, their reality,
Yeah,
and
from
they project
life.
themselves into the screen, right?
Yeah.
And they lose a little bit the connections with the educational part, the traditional part, and the roots where we're coming from. And our roots is about telling stories between ourselves, right?
Very true. And very appropriate, especially for radio, which has always been known as theater of the mind.
Yes.
Well, this is theater of the mind for the kids.
Yeah.
And again, get them off, not always, not all the time, obviously, but get them off the screens as often as you can.
Yeah.
And let them engage in that theater of the mind and let them listen to a story. What are we talking availability and price-wise for story phones?
We launched exactly this week, Dave.
Oh,
so we
very
are
good.
Very, very excited
Good
about it.
timing and have you on.
And we are basically distributing the product in the United States and Canada, further than in Europe. And we are talking about, we lost the light. We did lose the light.
We keep talking. Who needs lights? You know?
No problem. And from a price point perspective, we're looking into the 99 US dollars for the unit. And the unit comes, as you can see, in two forms. One with Disney products, and it comes with one story shield inside. And non-Disney product, which comes with two story shields inside. So it's already a package on itself. You go home and you can play right away. Right?
And the story shields that are these magnetic things that you clip onto the headphones, like that. See, for example, what do they cost in addition?
Here we have a tier approach, depending on the content, depending on the publishing house, that goes from $7.99, so very affordable, to $14.99.
Okay, very good. Basically, the price of a book for the kids.
Correct.
And if they don't like reading, which they should, of course, also. But again, this is getting them off the screen and into stories, and then they can use the same headphones, as you said, Bluetooth or direct wired connection for whatever else.
I'll give you one more thing about story phones.
All right.
We have a blank shield, which is called the Play Shield. And that goes back to 2 points we talked about. The first one is about telling stories between generations. So let's say you have a nephew or a niece, and you want to tell a story. You want to tell a particular adventures that you have. You can record your own story onto a blank shield.
Ah.
You can even personalize it, and the kids would actually hear the story with your voice directly onto the story phones. And this is one first thing, bridging generation. And the second thing, talking about reading, you can actually do a read-along where you basically read a book.
Like an audio book.
Correct. And then the kid will listen to your voice and go through the book himself while you're reading it. So
I like that.
That's a connection of educations and entertainment.
Yes. Oh, and I especially like it for, I'm imagining as a grandparent, telling a story about the family or whatever. Or when you were born, you didn't know this, but such and such was happening, or here's some history of the family. Imagine how heartwarming that is, especially when, when it's my time, that they can remember, and the kids can play it and their kids can play it. And
correct.
I'm liking that idea. So that's another story shield that is one you create.
Correct.
Loving it. So for more information, you want to visit onandoff.com. Very cool company name with a good website, onandoff.com. We'll get you there, too, when you visit intotomorrow.com. Filippo is the Global Sales Director for On and Off. Thank you for spending a few minutes here
Thank
at
you
IFA,
very much, Dave.
And congrats on launching it this week.
Thank you very much, Dave.
It's our pleasure. Into Tomorrow continues here at IFA in Berlin, Germany. I'm Dave Graveline. Don't go away. Much more to come right here on the Advanced Media Network.